Take 42. Hey, I'm back. Wanted to do some YouTube video here to kind of catch everybody up that might want to follow my channel. I'm still in the process of learning how to record things and put these videos together. It's quite a process. I'm not interested right at this point of adding music. I'm not, it's not radio, it's not a movie, it's just simple me. And so we're going live right now. And one of the things that has happened in the last few months since we last spoke was I brought you that video from the front seat of my truck, and I'm no longer driving the truck. I've got issues with my eyes. I don't see straight anymore. I got a lazy eye. One of the muscles has weakened and caused me to see double. So I had to retire driving truck. And I found a little part-time job, gives me 18-20 hours a week, puts a couple $100 in my pocket every week, not much, but it's something. And so what it has done, it gives me a lot of time. And being up here in the north, it's cold out. I'm not going to go out and lay on the ground and work on things in the cold. I'm too old for it. I'm not interested in doing that. So what we are doing is waiting for spring to get here. And I've got some projects that I need to get done. And this is one of the projects that I've been working on for some time. I've thought about building this out of scrap pieces of 2x4s and lumber from pallets, which if you're very careful and could collect enough pallets, you could actually make these. But I didn't want to go through the hassle of collecting pallets, so I just went down to lumberyard and bought 2x4s and was careful to buy the 2x4s that would give me the most with the least waste. And so the little greenhouse is coming together. This is a picture of my hexagon. I've also putting together the pentagons, and when gotta wait for nice warm weather to put the plastic on this. You want it to be hot out so the plastic is relaxed, and when you stretch it on, it will tighten up when it cools off and keep things nice and tight and smart looking. There, top of this dome has some windows in it, and I'll be putting windows in mine. The one thing I'm going to do different is here you see a small base right there. Now this dome, when it is built just like this, in the center is about 8 foot tall, and I'm thinking maybe I want to put a 2-foot riser on it to give me a 10 foot tall diameter. That will give me more room in the greenhouse. So I may do that. So it's pretty much all made out of 2x2s, 2x4s, just enough room in a 2x4 to split it down the middle and get the 2 pieces per length of 2x4. And that's the dome. I just came across the video here the last couple of days on something that's called aircrete, and basically what that is take concrete, just cement, and a shaving foam. Basically, it's made out of Dawn, of course, and it's use Dawn and water and put it through just a pressurized gun. It's pretty simple, and in that pressurized gun put steel wool in it, and that creates a foam, and you know, get your formula right. And there's a recipe. You can buy the gun, or you can make it simple. But just hook it up to an air compressor, run about 90 pounds in it, and make this shaving cream consistency foam, and mix that in with the concrete and let it dry, and it becomes what they call aircrete, and it creates blocks that actually float. I mean, it's real light way to make concrete, so you don't have the density and the weight the concrete has, but yet gives you pretty good strength. And I've seen some videos of the walls that people are making out of it, and they're, you know, load testing it with, you know, 400 to 500 pounds of weight, and standing on it and jumping on it. And so it's pretty structurally sound. It's fireproof. It's not going to rot. It's not bugs ain't going to eat it. So it's pretty viable building material. It's light enough that you can saw it with a hand saw and shape it and do what you want to do it. Like I say, it's something I'm kind of thinking about. You know, if I have the time and the effort and energy to put into it, of maybe redoing the forms on this dome and making them out of this aircrete, and making an aircrete living space. So I don't know. It's something to think about. But at any rate, that's the greenhouse project's what I want to get done, and I plan on completing it this summer. Another thing coming up right away is spring's coming up. I belong to the Beekeepers Association here in Indiana, and I want to get some beehives out. So my bees will be coming here in another month or so. I've got one of the hives pretty well done. I need right now I just need 2 hives to take care of the bees. I bought about I don't know, two nucleuses is what they're called, nukes. And so I bought 2 nukes. One's coming in a box, and the other one's just coming as a group of bees. So the one has 5 frames. You can see the frames there in the big box. That's comes in what is called a 5-frame nuke, and this is the box that I'm building, which you see in the picture here, with the exception of where you see where it says a standard brood box. I'm not going to use a standard brood box. I'm using a medium depth Western Super, and the reason for that is I won't have 2 sizes of frames to build. I'm making my own frames out of the scrap 2x4s I've got. You know, it's pretty easy to come by 2x4s, 3-4 foot long. Just, you know, just they're out there. Just go pick them up. And I've got a bunch of them. I've got a whole big stack out here in the backyard of some crates I got last year. And so I'll finish my frames out. I've got one 10-frame box already completed, and I've got the hive stand, the screen bottom, and the queen extruder. It's built up to that, except with having a standard brood box, I've got a Western Super, and I'm going to put 2 of the Western Supers together, and then that should equal what that standard brood box is. And the advantage of doing that is when you take one of these beehives that has a colony of bees in it, it gets pretty darn heavy. Bees make honey. Honey ain't light. So to stay with the medium supers, it's just easier to pick up and easier to maneuver and move them around. So we'll stay with the medium supers on it. And I'll put, like I said, 2 supers for the bees to brood in, and then 2 to 3 supers for them to put their honey in. And once they get going good, I'll know next spring not this spring, but next spring, how well things are, see if they survive the winter. That's a big problem with our bees today, is they're not managing to survive the winters. And I'm not going to take much honey from them at all. I'm going to pretty much leave all of it for them to have to get them through the winter. I want to give the bees every chance I can to establish themselves. That's to get into the bee business, that's your biggest investment, is your bees. And if you can get established and get bees that are climatized, that, you know, can live in your environment, then they'll take care of everything for you. They'll reproduce, and you can multiply your hives off what you got without having to buy new. So that's the goal. Just get them out there and put them in the hives, and hopefully they will do what bees do, multiply. So we're gonna let them go, and like I say, I might split the 2 hives before fall, and you know, if it's early enough and they're doing well, split the 2 hives and create 4 hives, and then hopefully by next spring I will have at least one of the 4 will survive. If one of the 4 survive to next summer, then, you know, I can say, well, you know, I've got my start, and I can split again and start working on making more smaller hives and nukes, and go from that. But until then, that's what we're working on just the projects around the backyard that need done. Of course, there's plenty of mechanic work that I got to do. This is a truck that I bought, and I've also got the truck that I had, and I've got a Jeep Cherokee that I picked up, and I've got, this truck runs pretty good. I've got new brakes on it. I had to put a steering box on it. Let me see, put a steering box on it, put new brakes on it, put new tires on it, replaced that rear bumper on it. The Dodge terrible about rusting out, and they've just got some, it was just some, I don't know what you call it, design flaws or what, but the way that bumper is designed, this is pretty much a light cover that goes over the structure that's actually your structural bumper, and that cover and structure are sandwiched together, but there's enough room to get dirt, salt, rust, crud in it, and cause them to rust out. Any of the older Dodges got a few years on it, that's what you start seeing. The bumpers are all rusty, and the wheel wells are all rusty, and so new bumper on the back to smarten that up a little bit. There's some surface rust in the bottom of that tailgate that I'll put some emulsifier on, kill the rust, and then clean it up, paint it. And same way with the bottom of the doors. The doors are not rusted all the way through, but they're enough. But I got to get the emulsifier on it and stop the rust from progressing. And then I'm going to fiberglass over that and sand the fiberglass down and paint that. Once you put fiberglass in, you should be pretty much problem solved for a few years without the rust coming back. And where it's actually rusted out and missing around the wheel wells, I could spend a ton of money and buy quarter panels and front bumper fenders and all that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shoot some insulation foam up in that after I've put the rust killer. I'll put some foam up in that, and then shape the foam and fiberglass over the foam. And you know, the foam is, if you look at boats have foam cores in them, and this is the same stuff. It's creates a foam core, and Fiberglass should come out looking pretty decent, and I've got the fender flares to go on it to finish the truck up, and it'll look pretty decent when it's done. I mean, you know, from the highway 20 mile an hour, it'll be all right. And it's a pickup truck. I got to haul my boat. That's the main thing, is that it's in good mechanical condition to get up and down the boat ramp. So that's that truck. The old Ford pickup truck, it just had too many issues. It needs a radiator, it needs a heater core, and probably needs a rear end put in it. And I wanted to have it. It has some issue with the ignition on it. I'll be driving down the highway at about 40 mile an hour, and it'll just kind of puke, not fire. I put new coil packs on it. Thought maybe that fixed it, but I don't believe it did. So I've got to do some more troubleshooting on it, but I'm just going to get it running halfway decent and put it up for sale, and sell for $800-900 and let somebody else take over the maintenance on it and worry with it. I wanted truck head heat in it basically, and I didn't want to have to tear the whole dashboard out to get to the heater core, which is ridiculous. I don't know why Ford's done that, but you got to take the steering wheel off and just hours and hours of labor to get that dashboard in and out. So Ford goes, Dodge is in, and that's where we're at on the vehicles. So we've got a Jeep Cherokee that I picked up for little or nothing. The fella that had it was changing out the motors, and I don't know, he just said he got tired of working on it and didn't want to finish it up, and sold it to me cheap. So I'm going to go ahead and put the motor back together. Got to put some tires on it and probably sell it to my daughter, and so she got a truck for the kids. And that's pretty much the vehicles and the outside projects. But, the other project is the boat. Yeah, the boat. If I get all those things done, maybe I can go sail. And so I've really been looking at what kind of boat I want to purchase now that I'm retired. I've got the itch to get out there and go fishing and hit the lakes. And I've been watching a lot of eBay and searching Craigslist and so on, looking, and you find something, ooh, here's a nice boat, and go on, do all the research behind it, read the reviews on it, find out all the weak spots, and what can possibly be wrong with this particular boat or that particular boat. And while I was doing eBay, this boat was up on the auction block. Now this is a trimaran. It's 29 foot wide and 65 foot long. It's a world cruiser. This boat would take you anywhere you want to go in the world. And for me, a boat like this is just a dream. It's out of my price range. There's no way I can afford a decent Moran, any kind, catamaran, trimaran, 65 foot boat. They're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. This particular boat was appraised at $50,000, but when I found it on eBay, it only had a $2,000 bid on it. So I figured, what the heck, I threw my nest egg up, and boom, we went from 2,000 up to 5,000, and it was my boat at $5,000. And So I'm like, wow, I didn't think I'd even get control of the bid, number one. But then after I had control of the bid, of course, I knew that with eBay, you wait till the auction's actually closed to find out if you're the winner or not, because people buy that app to drop their bid at the last second, so you don't get time to think about it. If you put a $5,000 bid on it and they bid $6,000, then yeah, I'm gonna go 6,500 and slowly run it up that way. If you're winning at 5,000 and they want to put 6,000 on it the last second, you don't get time to react. And so I was waiting for that to happen, and I called the owner, or the caretaker of the boat, and I was talking to him about it, and he said, you know, this boat's really not in bad shape. He says the worst thing about it is it's been tied to the dock for the last 5 years. He said when it came in and got tied up, it came here from Europe, and it had a bottom job done on Europe with a 25-year guarantee on it. So we expect it just clean the hull off and it should be in good shape. The inside of the boat is, just bone dry, and they had pictures of the bilge and all the inside of the boat, and it really looks good. I mean, the bilge is clean enough to eat off of. It's dry. The motor runs. The windlass thing that hauls the anchor up is just been rebuilt, and I don't know if it has electric winches on it to raise the sails up or down and all that. Don't know anything about any of that, but say the windlass was rebuilt. They had a 4 kilowatt electrical generating plant in it. It was being serviced and worked on, needed put back together. Could possibly have, had some minor issues, I don't know, but he said it just needed put back together. It was functionable, or would be functionable. It had 2 wind generators on the back. It also had solar panels on the back. So boat is a pretty, in my opinion, magnificent boat for someone who's ready for it. And that's my biggest problem. I'm not ready for that boat. If I were to buy it, I couldn't keep it in the pier, on the pier where it's at the dock. It's $1,000 a month to tie up to the dock with this thing. So I'd have to take it out, put it on anchor, and I wouldn't feel comfortable just putting it on anchor and coming back up here to Indiana until we're ready to move to Florida. That could be 4 or 5 years from now, who knows. So it was a good thing I got outbid in the end, because it was bad timing for that big of a leap. I mean, gosh, I'd have loved to have done it, and trust me, I'm crazy enough, I would have done it if things would have been a little different. The 2 people that took the bid away from me and started out, bidding against each other, running up to the 9,000, they both backed out. And the auctioneer seller came back to me and said, hey, if you want it, it's available. And I explained to him then that, well, $5,000, that's where I was at when these 2 started bidding on it. So if you want to sell it for $5,000, I'll give you $5,000 for it. And they came back with my highest bid that I said I would go, which was $8,599, and said they'd sell it for that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I was winning the bid at $5,000. How do I know your buddies didn't run it all the way up just to see how much money I had to, that I said I'd be willing to buy it for? So, you know, I basically said, nope, I'm not going to. My bid was 5,000 when I was winning, and had they not done that and backed out, I would have won it for 5,000. So, long story short, I wasn't obligated to buy it, so I didn't buy it, and that's where we're at on that. But the other boat that I found, I think it was on, might have been Yacht World, or might even been Craigslist, but it's this boat here. Now, this boat is a Parker Dawson, and the Parker Dawson is a good little trailer sailor. It's a 26-foot long boat, and has a cabin up front, cabin in the back, and then you drive it from where the guy in the blue shirt and red shorts is standing inside the cockpit. And that's a pretty nice boat. The owner of that boat, you can see him sitting behind it in the wheelchair there. He bought the boat, and at the end of the first season that he had it, had some sort of accident and broke his back and ended up paralyzed in a wheelchair. And he managed to sell it for a few seasons after that. He got the boat all set up to handle from the cockpit and be handicap accessible for him. He could get in and out of the back cabin with a little help and a little effort. So he took it up on the Great Lakes and did some sailing in it, and has since decided that he's given the sailing up. So I picked the boat up, and now this is a closer shot of a Parker Dawson, not mine, but one just like it. And you can see it with the enclosed cockpit with that cover on it. Now mine has this cover. He has a complete, I think it's a 7-piece cockpit cover, so you can have as much of it on or as little of it on as you want, and close yourself off from the elements, which for me is important when you get up around, get issues with flies and stuff on the lakes and around the swampy areas and in the mangroves and so on. It's kind of nice to have something to keep bugs out. So we've got that. Mine also has the keel is retractable in this, and he's taken the keel out, removed it, and sandblasted it all down, primered it, painted it, replaced the mounts, replaced the cables, and got that all in good working order, and has it on an electric winch, so it, you know, it's all electric. Put it up and down with, like I say, everything about this boat's pretty much handicap accessible, and he's got a long list of things that he's done to it and things that come with it that just make it a really nice buy, and I think it's going to be a good decision for us to have something that is just right size for 2 people, and it will float on the Great Lakes. He's headed up quite a ways up the lakes, and I think he's headed up into Georgia, in the Georgian Bay, and I know he's taken it up the lakes quite a few times, and so it will be a good coastal cruiser. That's what it's noted for. That's what its prime design was for, and they say it gives you plenty of space. Now we can actually do our living, sleeping, and all that food preparation in the front, and use the rear for storage for, you know, provisions. Put your food and sails and all the extra goodies that you need back in the back. So, or you can put them up in the V berth and do your sleeping in the back and do your cooking at the table, and with the closed cockpit like this, you can, it's got cockpit cushions and everything, so you can spend a lot of time up in the cockpit, stay dry and comfortably cozy. So that's where the boat's at, and so we're just waiting right now for the weather to change and things to warm up. But again, like I said, I just wanted to make a video and put it on here and kind of get everybody up to date, and anybody that might stumble along and find me on YouTube. It's going to get more interesting in this, once it warms up and there's some action to actually go do. I just, just waiting on the weather now. It's hunkered in and 10 degrees outside, not much to go out and do. So, I don't know whether anybody will want to watch and follow along on the projects that I'm doing other than the boats. If there's an interest in that, just post it in the comments down there if you'd like to see more on the beekeeping as it progresses. If you want to see more on the dome as it progresses. I don't think I'll do much on the mechanic work. I cuss too much. I'm not crazy about working on cars, but the other stuff, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to putting that up on a video and kind of adding to the content of this website or this YouTube channel. So if you want to follow and you think you might be interested in what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell. And as I say, as summer gets here, it's going to get more interesting once I make the trip up to get the boat, get the truck done, and we're going to put it out on the lake. Get the grandkids out here. We'll go down and do a little sailing and hopefully have some fun. So until then, until I can get back here again, it was fun making the video, fun talking to you. Everybody out there, be safe, enjoy, and boy, don't waste your life. Just get out and do something. Even if it's wrong, do something. So, good day, good luck, goodbye.